And once again today to deliver another stream of Hinamatsuri. On this stream we are covering episode 10 of Hinamatsuri. We're good to go. We're good to go. So, yeah, anyway. On today's stream, we're covering episode 10 of Hinamatsuri, and as we know, it's getting kind of to the point that it's getting very serious, but also at the same time sort of living up to what the show's actually kind of portrayed beforehand. It's sort of not neglecting the stuff before. It's still quite filzy, it's still quite comedic, but it's also introducing characters quite later on into the series, which I thought might kind of hinder the overall thing so far, but no, it hasn't really done anything so far to actually hinder anything, because actually they're actually been well implemented into the series. I actually quite like that. Also, we actually finally got to see a bit more of Nita's work, because I believe that's been kind of neglected this whole entire time. But now we actually kind of got to see it, which actually was kind of neat. So hopefully we get to see more of it as time goes on, because I believe they probably might actually show it just a tiny bit more as the show progresses. Well, I hope at least. That's what I hope. But anyway, yeah. So... so hopefully this episode's not actually as filzy as it is beforehand, because I can't deal with fills, man. I'm trying to get over the fills beforehand, so I still can't get over the fills beforehand. I want to see justice for all my characters. I want to see everyone be happy, but that will never happen. Alright, let's put on Twitter. Go on live. Go live for Hinamatsuri episode 10. Let's put 9 just then. My brain thought 9, but I thought, nah, fam, that's not right. It's 10. It's 10, fam. It's gonna work correctly. I can't even say 10. But anyway, let's begin this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's begin this thing now. Man, I don't want to see Hitomi suffer. I don't want to see anyone suffer. Why must this world be so cruel? Uh-oh. My headphones were... I thought my headphones weren't working for a second there. And so I was like, wait a second, they ain't working. I like how Hitomi's mother was like, yo, don't lie to me. Like, as if her whole entire character so far, where she's working is quite like, how can you... It's kind of hard to believe. So it's one of those things you kind of understand where she's coming from. Like, when she says, that's ridiculous. Because it's true, you don't imagine to go work as a bartender at that age. It's depressing when you think about it. Poor girl. Yeah. It's kind of it's a very interesting turn of events, really, when you think about it. It's a very interesting turn of events. It's just because you can't actually just picture Hitomi working as a bartender, because it just doesn't work. It's one of those things you're just like, what the hell's she been doing this whole entire time? Well, we know as an audience that she's been working as a bartender, but everyone else is like, what the hell is she doing? Is that good advice? So actually good advice at that point. She's very, Otako's very kind of, she's kind of very gun-ho about everything, isn't she? I just realised that. She's kind of very gun-ho. Christ. Christ. Is it just me, or does this have a very slightly depressing undercurrent to it? A very depressing undercurrent. Are you actually slowly watching someone lose their mind? Again. Like, everyone in this show so far has basically lost their mind. In some way. Yeah, it's actually like... It's one of those things that you're watching someone basically just slowly lose it. It's actually kind of depressing. Actually, it's very depressing. Wow. Wow. I love how Nita's like, yeah, something's going on here. That's something I just don't like very much. Hello! Hinamatsuri. I can't show it, I'm sorry. Currently at 1607. 1607. I mean, Sabi from last week's not on good terms with anyone currently as well. That's one of the things. Sabi's not on good terms with anyone. Christ. Christ. Oh man. Oh, damn. Man, this got really freaking depressing. This got really freaking depressing. Tell me about it. I was sitting there like, Sabu, please. Why would you do that? The poor dude. Poor dude, poor girl. So my brain's gone off the charts. Brain's gone off the charts lately. Poor girl. Well, that was morbidly depressing. At the end, I was like, oh, well, you know what? I now feel really freaking depressed. Didn't really want to see, I didn't want to really see that, but Sabu basically just made her day worse. Can't believe it. The poor girl. Actually, everything happened. God damn it, Sabu. I can't believe he's actually voiced by Ray, the goodest boy in the universe. The most goodest boy in the universe, and he now voices Sabu. Wow. I like how this episode basically was a massive just kind of telling you, look, these people aren't good people. Like, Utako and Sabu. Like, both of them have just been told, yeah, they're not good people. Just slowly as the time went on, and you went, yeah, they're not so great. I mean, because Utako's very gun-ho about everything. She just kind of goes straight into it. You kind of like take a breather for a second. Sabu's not kind of okay. He's not. He's good for a little while, but then he kind of went. Pfft. It's just the way she was like, oh yeah, just sign these papers. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, the poor girl's still in middle school. It's one of those things because when you think about it, this whole entire show so far has been one massive deconstruction of Otako's character as well. Because as the time went on and Hitomi started to kind of come into the forefront, she kind of just went slowly to the back, to the point that you sat there and went, oh yeah, like this all the time, because the camera always focused on Hitomi the whole entire time. There wasn't very much any time that Otako was kind of there, and it kind of just told you there and then that she was kind of the life of the whole entire bar. If she wasn't there, then basically this whole entire bar kind of would just go. And she kind of said it herself, like she said it like, oh god, her mother's there, I'm screwed. Like it's that whole entire thing. You just knew at that point, at that one stage, if she's gone, the whole entire bar's gone as well. And it's kind of morally depressing. Yeah, pretty much. You have to kind of realize the whole entire time that Otako's not a good person towards Hitomi. That's the thing, because she kind of just went, look, sign these papers. It's like, yeah, but you need to kind of let her just think about these kind of things. Someone's got Nita killed. Yeah. There was also that. Sabu's not a good person either. I love this show just for the sole reason this show just constantly just tells you, yeah, these people aren't good people. As it told you as this show went on and how Otako kind of became a little bit more obsolete towards the show, she kind of got removed from everywhere. She wasn't even a part of the show anymore. And it just kind of told you there and then. I think this episode actually kind of was the nail in the coffin for her character, because she kind of basically went, yeah, I'm screwed if she goes. It kind of tells you there and then that she's basically like, she's living off of Hitomi. If she's gone, she's screwed, and it's more depressing. So you kind of just saw a girl slowly just creep into the whole entire idea of, yeah, life ain't that good. Life ain't that good. And one other thing it kind of also noted was the fact that Hitomi can't say no. It's one of those other things that it was actually kind of saying as well, actually kind of showing, is the idea of her not saying no. It's one of those things that it's understandable that people do sometimes have that problem not saying no. And it kind of shows in the episode that how everyone was kind of just taking advantage and everything like that. It was more depressing, because she's living independently, but at the same time she's not having a good life, and it's just one of those things that she thought to herself, oh, I've got a way out, and the way out didn't work in the end, because in the end what she was doing isn't technically like a terrible thing, because she's getting contacts everywhere. I mean, yeah, how it's actually kind of impacting her actual life is terrible, but the actual kind of what's going on is actually kind of helping her in some capacity. It's one of those things I thought, oh yeah. So it's interesting when you think about it, because it puts a different spin on the whole entire event, because you kind of think to yourself, yeah, this is pretty terrible, but at the same time, if you look at it from a logical perspective, what she's doing currently is actually getting her a lot of doors opened in the future. Yeah, she basically has no life, but at the same time, it's one of those things that it's depressing, but the actual outlook it kind of has at the end, it's kind of telling you, look, well, don't worry about it too much, because she's actually got a lot of avenues open at this point. It's one of those things that, yeah, it's the way she kind of went about it wasn't the correct way of doing it, because let's face it, it wasn't the correct way, but at the same time, it was one of those things that it kind of told you there and then that, look, yeah, it's not all that bad. I think the show does that kind of perfectly. The show always kind of puts a spin on the event, saying, look, it's actually not too bad in the end. I mean, Anzu's one was more interesting, because she was basically she kind of went, look, I want to get a present, so I was like, oh, I've got an idea, and it basically just derailed completely. Like, literally just derailed so hard, and it's just like one of those things, it's a life lesson, but it was one of those life lessons that she could have avoided, really, when you think about it. It's one of the things about Anzu's, like, kind of whole entire character piece of this episode. It could have been avoided if Sabi wasn't actually there. And that was one of those things. It's interesting for that reason, because you can't, like, yeah, she got an important life lesson, but at the same time, if Sabi wasn't there, it wouldn't have happened. And then Hitomi was just like, yeah, we should just go. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. No, when they're at the cafeteria and she was crying, he was just like that the whole entire time. I was like, dude, own up, this is your goddamn fault. I can't stand that man at all. He bores my blood. He's on par with horrible people I've seen in anime in the last 10 years. For some reason, he doesn't realize it himself. That's the problem. I think he does at the end, but it's one of those things. He doesn't kind of realize it at first. He's just like, yeah, this is going great, and it's like, oh yeah, reality sits in, and he's just like, Christ. It's one of those things. He's an interesting character because you think he's not so bad at first, but it's actually kind of terrible at the end. I think the show kind of proves that perfectly. A lot of the characters tend to be kind of not so great people. I mean, Nisa's pretty freaking alright, but a lot of other people in the show tend to be kind of not that great. And it's one of those things the show does it kind of perfectly. Yeah. It's interesting for that reason. I feel sorry for Hanzu because she just basically went in to get a present for her family, and in the end she couldn't do it. And it was just like, man. But it's one of those things that she realized it herself that she was kind of getting greedy. It was one of those things that it kind of puts a different spin on the whole entire thing. Granted, this doesn't change the fact that if something wasn't there, this would never have happened. So it's one of those. It's an interesting kind of event because it has an outlook that's positive at the end, but the whole entire thing would have been avoided. So it's one of those ones that you just don't know how to feel towards the end because you're like, huh, okay. Alright, so what's the DDO here then, Sabu? But the problem is, the fact that he's voiced by Ray, and all I can think about is the goodest boy in anime, just kind of, this is the betrayal of his character. This is the betrayal of his character, I can't believe it. But yeah, I mean, the main star of the show really was Hitomi's character, because it kind of, you basically just saw her just slowly just go further and further into despair. It's just one of those things that, I mean, it was trying to put a positive spin on the whole entire beginning part, but you yourself, you realize, holy crap, this is freaking depressing. It's one of those things the show tends to do. It kind of has this positive aurora about it, but at the same time, you're just sitting there like, yeah, this is not good at all. She's in middle school. She's 14, and she's basically being just thrown into all these things. She's basically living like an adult at age 14, and it's one of those things you're just kind of sitting there like, god damn. It's like, out of every single character in the show, she gets thrown into everything. Just kind of like, this is depressing. Like, even when she doesn't actively look for it, it just kind of happens. You're just like, why can't the world just throw her a bone and just make her go, yeah, life's not so bad anymore. But yeah, in resume, Sabu's a terrible person. Utako's technically a terrible person as well. Nisa's a good person, though he kind of realised it himself that this is actually a really bad situation. And yeah, Hitomi's best girl still. And she doesn't deserve all this problems that she gets, but life is cruel, as they say. But yeah, hopefully the rest of the show tends to be a little bit more brighter, because god damn it. Yeah, she kind of skipped over being normal. She wanted to go back to being normal, but she can't avoid it anymore. She's kind of stuck in that whole entire rut for the rest of her life now. It's one of those things that if she didn't if Otako didn't actually bring her in, this would never have happened. This whole entire thing, this whole entire episode could have been avoided when you think about it. This whole entire event, this episode, half this narrative could just have been avoided. It wasn't. Life is cruel. That's what the show tends to actually kind of highlight. Life is cruel, especially Hitomi, who's basically just gave up being normal for the rest of her life. And now she's stuck forever in a perpetual loop of just depression. And also just kind of working like about 10 billion jobs. Which even a normal person just couldn't do. God damn. But yeah, I mean, that was Hinamatsuri episode 10. That was a really, really kind of one of those episodes that really kind of opens up like a lot of reality in a show. But yeah, as always, I have been the driver. You have enjoyed this whole entire stream on Twitch, then do leave a follow, because indeed it does help quite a bit. You have enjoyed it here on YouTube, and you do want to leave that good old like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help quite a bit. You enjoyed it here on YouTube, and you want to stay a bit longer, then do the sub, because indeed it does help quite a bit. But until tomorrow, with hopefully maybe manga stream, actually I might do tomorrow. I'm thinking of maybe doing something new. I don't know just yet, but we'll see. So then, see you guys now. See you guys later. Bye for now.